Good day, students. To begin our lesson for today, we're going to play a game called Commercial Creation. Now, what does this game entail? Well, as you can see, I have some items here. So what I want you guys to do for me is divide yourselves into two groups. One group over here and another group over here. As quickly and as quietly as possible. And then I will give you further instructions. Great, so now that you've divided yourself into two groups, as you can see, we have some items here. A cake mixer, an air refreshener, and a food processing set. Now what you guys have to do for me is to create a commercial. So I would like volunteers to come up here from each group, and this is what you're going to do. You are going to sell one of these items. And I'm sure you would have seen commercials before. The idea is to be as catchy and as convincing as possible because you want individuals to buy these items. So can I have a volunteer? Yes, Cyril. Come on up. Great. So I really enjoyed how you guys sold those products. You made me want to buy it. You were very convincing. You were very persuasive. I admire your efforts. So give yourself a round of applause. Yes. So what you did there is very pivotal to the lesson that we're about to have today. You use your speech to convince others to buy a particular product or to share your viewpoint. That is related to our lesson today. Today we're going to see how we can use written language to convince or persuade others to share our viewpoint on particular issues. So we're going to see how we can do that by examining how others would have done it through various texts. We're going to practice the art of doing so using certain teaching materials that I would have prepared. So are you ready? Yes, I can see that you are ready. So let's get into it. Great. So now that we've completed that phase of the lesson and you are clearly having an understanding of how to identify the components of a persuasive essay and how to label parts of a sample persuasive essay to highlight those components, now we can move on to the next phase of our lesson. Good, so what we're going to do for this phase of the lesson is that I'm going to give you copies of a matlab, and this is what it looks like. And the interesting thing about this matlab is that it's actually a copy of a persuasive essay with missing parts. So this is where you and I practice the skills that we would have learned. I will model the activity, showing you exactly what to do, and then I will leave you to complete the rest of it by yourselves. So, are you ready? Good. Let's go. Good. So this matlab has to do with taking longer breaks during instructional hours. Who doesn't want a little bit more free time during instructional hours? So let's see how we can complete it together so that you can get practice with doing persuasive essay writing. So looking at this matlab, the first thing we need to do is to complete the introduction. And just a reminder, how many parts does the introduction have? Yes, 0. Good, that's correct. It has 3 parts. So, what is the first thing that we need to do to get someone interested in what we have to say? Yes, Michael? Good, that's correct. We need to hook them. So, what is a good way to hook someone? Malachi? Correct. You need to ask maybe a fact or a question. So, what do you think would be a good question to ask to begin this introductory essay? Good. So, what would be a good question for us to ask to hook someone regarding school grades? Malachi? Yes, I like that one. How would you feel if you had more time to relax during school? I'm going to write that there because it's an interesting question that hooks a reader from the beginning. So let me write that down. Good. So you can see that I would have inserted that question right there inside of the Mathlib. So in order for our reader to understand why that question is of importance, what do we need to do? Yes, sir. Good. We need to give them some background information. So, what type of background information do you believe that we can give them to help them connect what we would have written there to the thesis statement that will come afterward? Yes, Devonish. I agree with that. We can explain what type of current breaks we have and why they're set up. That is a good suggestion. So, how would we actually write that down? Maybe we could put something like this. Currently, school breaks are short and are meant to give students a quick bit of relaxation before class continues. How do you think that sounds? I'm noticing you're nodding in agreement, so we're going to put that in. So let's put that in. Good. So as you can see, I would have inserted our background into our Mathlib. So what's missing to complete this introduction? Yes, Malachi? Oh, that is correct. Yes, we need to write a statement explaining what our essay will be about. So, can someone tell me, what do you think this Mathlib is about? Yes, Zero. Yes, that is correct. It's about students having longer breaks. So, our statement should center around that. Does anybody have a suggestion as to what we should write? Yes, Sarah, I like that one. So, having longer breaks can help to improve students' well-being and their academic performance. So, I will insert that into our Mathlib. Great. So, as you can see, we would have completed the introduction of this persuasive essay on this Mathlib. So now, it's your job to complete the other stages, the body of the essay and the conclusion by filling in appropriate statements. So I'm curious to know how you will do. So you have 10 minutes to finish off the rest of this exercise, and then we'll move on. How does that sound? Good. Great. So now that we've completed that phase of our lesson, this is what I would like you guys to do. I would like you to create outlines for persuasive essays on your own. You can come up with a topic, but you need to create an outline. And don't worry, you're not left on your own. What I am giving you to assist you is a storyboard. Now, for those of you who have devices, I can send it straight to your phone. But for those of you who prefer something physical, I can give you copies of these. Now, how these work is that they help you to stimulate ideas. You can draw or insert images, and then you can insert text underneath to guide you as you develop the various stages of your outline. So, I'm curious to see what you will do with this activity, and I know you will enjoy it. Good. So, I trust we had an enjoyable lesson for today. So now we're at our final leg. And for this leg, we have an interesting concluding activity. I have a game for you guys. So what I need you to do is to divide yourself into groups of 5. And this is what you're going to do for me. I'm going to give you copies of these sentence strips. Now together, these sentence strips make up a persuasive essay. But they're all jumbled. So your job is to arrange them in 30 seconds. The group that does this the quickest wins. When you arrange them in 30 seconds, they must form a coherent, persuasive essay. So, are you ready? Go. Great. So Group A won that game. They were the quickest, 20 seconds. I should give myself a round of applause because it shows that I did a good job teaching you guys, and it shows that you did a good job learning. So give yourself a round of applause as well. Now, here's some homework for you. I'm seeing that you were excited during the course of this lesson, but it doesn't stop there. What I want you guys to do is to go home and to brainstorm some topics that you can come up with persuasive arguments for, and make a note of those topics, because when we come again, we will have more practice in writing persuasive essays. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, you understand what you need to do for me for homework, let's recap this lesson. And to recap this lesson, I just have one question for you. The question I have for you is, what are the parts of a persuasive essay? Yes, Sarah. Sarah mentions the introduction. Is she correct? Yes, she is. So I have another question though. What are the parts of the introduction? Yes, Malachi, that's correct. The hook, the background, and the thesis statement. So there are some other parts. What other parts are we leaving out for our persuasive essay? Yes, Malachi. We have the body paragraphs and the conclusion. That is correct. And what do they expect to find in the conclusion? Summary of the main points and a call to action. Wonderful. So I appreciate your participation in today's class. I look forward to similar participation in our future lessons. And I would like to say, I hope you have a wonderful lunch and see you again next week.